Hi, I'm Gabe Josephs with Joseph's Heating and Cooling in South Deerfield, Mass, and welcome to my how-to videos on the Acadia heat pump system. Okay, today what we're going to be going over is routine maintenance for the Acadia heat pump system. And we're going to do this in 3 steps. First step is going to be checking the temperature probes. Okay, so with our chart, we want our chart handy from the Hallowell book. Okay, we want to be able to take our temperature readings. Now, homeowners, you want to get the ambient temperature around your unit, which for me is 64 degrees. So 64 degrees, let's say halfway between 60 and 70, should be just under 107 for resistance. Okay? Now this is with the system not running. It hasn't been running for a while. Okay? So we're going to one at a time go ahead and get on each of the sensors. Okay? So I'm starting with the white outdoor temperature sensor. And it's showing up right around 107. Okay. Next, we're going to go to the second set, which is the blue coil temperature sensor. Okay, right around 105. And then last is the inner stage temperature sensor. So right around 105.5. Okay. Now, I'm doing this with one hand, but the easiest thing to do is to pull this block right off of the upper right-hand side of the circuit board and then one at a time test them. Okay? Alright, so we'll put those back now. Okay, so contractors, HVAC contractors, you should have some sort of clamp thermometer. Okay, for me, I use this handy little wireless clamp thermometer. Okay, and I should be getting readings around 64, 65 degrees. Okay, so my outdoor temperature sensor is about 65.6. So this is right on. These sensors are good to go. They're going to be pretty close going into winter. If they're way off, replace them. Okay, so once the temperature sensors are checked out and all of them are verified to be okay, the next thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and check the capacitors. Please make sure the power is off to the system. Okay, I know for a fact that mine is. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect my capacitors. You want to test all of these capacitors. Okay, I'm using a 145 to 175 microfarad start capacitor. So I should see my microfarad reading end up right within there. Okay, so you have one lead on each post of the capacitor. Okay, so my 145 to 175 is reading 163. That's beautiful. Okay, that's what we want. Now, a lot of capacitors are coming back way off on capacitance. Now, this right here, this is a 324 to 356. We're going to go ahead and give this a second. And we're getting 393. So this start capacitor is way out of its range. If you see that, you want to replace it. Please go through one at a time all of the capacitors and double check them, and when you're done, please don't forget to put them all back the way that you found them. Okay, now that the sensors have been tested and all of the capacitors have been tested and everything is put back together, We're going to have the power back on, which I've already done, and we are going to test each motor one at a time. Now, if you look at your panel, you're going to see that the booster contactor is all the way to the left, fan contactor, primary 1 and primary 2. We want to start each of these to make sure that they sound correct. So we're going to start all the way to the left here, and we're going to push in the contactor for the booster. Okay, go ahead and run it for 3 to 5 seconds. Make sure everything starts up just fine. You'll probably hear a little bit of refrigerant moving at this point, and that's perfectly okay. Next, we're going to do the fan contactor. Okay, a little bit quieter. You can't see my fan, but I can hear it running, so that's all set. Alright, next we're going to go to the primary 1 contactor. Okay, primary 1 contactor fires right up, all set, no problem there. My system's a little rough. It's got a unit attached to the top of it, so it's a little shaky, but it should all sound pretty smooth on startup. Okay. Last is the primary 2 contactor. Okay, primary 2 contactor is all set too. The primary 2 on the compressor is working fine also. Everything checks out. All of the capacitors check out, and the sensors all check out, and you should be good for the winter time. When you are manually going to push in the contactors, please make sure your thermostat is set to off. Mine is, because the last thing you want to have happen is the thermostat comes out of a 5-minute delay while you're pushing in a contactor and it tries to energize a motor. That would not be good. Okay, now please keep in mind here, I'm using the older style circuit board and not the newer style, so I'm testing 100 ohm sensors and not the 10K, the 10,000 ohm sensors. I'm also using upgraded contactors. I've taken out the GE contactors and put in Siemens contactors, although I did remove the cover, so you can still push in the contactor manually and you can ohm across them. Now, if you are using the older style GE contactors, while inside the unit with the power off, what you're going to want to do is hook your meter up to it, okay, and go ahead and push in the contactor. And with the contactor pushed in, you want to read the resistance. So really the reason why is why you want to check this is the L2 to T2 side, which is what I'm on, the right side, has been showing resistance. This one's not actually that bad. It's showing about 17.5 ohms. It should be 0, but it's not. So, and the right side is no longer going to be used once you've gone to the UMSR upgrade. And that's it. So be safe. Make sure power is off before you test the system. And please, if you have not done so already, upgrade the system with the UMSR relays. This should keep these systems running a lot longer. Okay, take care.